Ladies and gentlemen, in yesterday's report, we covered the fact that the UK's Dominic Raab had taken to the airwaves and announced that we were considering restricting grocery stores to those people who could prove they've received the COVID vaccination.
A domestic vaccine passport where you have to show a bit of paper to go into a supermarket or something like that.
Well, it's something that hasn't been ruled out and it's under consideration, but of course...
Now, in response to this report, some people said, this is nonsense, but just forget it. I'm done. I'm not going to the supermarket anymore. That's fine. I'll get my food somewhere else. And so, would you believe that on the same day, the BBC started pushing a new line of propaganda, this time saying that it's not just farms and ranches or even now grocery stores that are dirty and dangerous. It's food. It's all of it. It's anyone dealing with food. Here from the BBC, at-home food selling is concerning, according to the UK's Food Standards Agency. And let's give this article a quote before we judge it. A chance, rather. There has been a concerning rise in food businesses operating out of people's homes during the lockdown, according to the food safety watchdog. Some of them are selling through social media. We really don't have time to inspect all of these home businesses because of this crisis that's going on. Experts are getting worried. Quote, little food businesses are popping up like mushrooms in the lockdown. Now, that's what happens when you're locked in the dark and fed. Well, you know the expression. Quote, there are rank outsiders operating off the radar who think, well, if I can cook, then I can cater, I can sell food. They sell to locals through apps like WhatsApp, Instagram, and Nextdoor. Of course, note that Facebook already keeps you from selling your own eggs that you produce locally. They already have rules about not selling food, and they will kick off your posts. We've covered that previously. Many of these new home businesses are failing to register as food businesses. Again, with the register with your government, give all of the information to them. And the system now is struggling to keep up during the pandemic. Hygiene inspections actually ceased during the first part of the lockdown, and now we have a scaled back operation focused only on high-risk cases. Authorities were using video calls to try and catch up through the backlog, but these video calls can never be as effective as in-person surprise inspections. In fact, that's one of the things they most miss, is that a challenge posed by the new legion of at-home businesses is that even if physical inspection is required, a 24-hour warning has to be given before we just bust in someone's private residence. So the surprise element is lost. We here at the state don't get to bust into your house and do whatever we want, and that's really how we like to treat people. It's not working for us, these at-home businesses. About 44% of new food businesses started since the lockdowns began are home-based. That's what lockdowns mean. That's what happens. You morons. I'm really losing patience with this narrative here. The growth of at-home food businesses is a concern, according to the Food Safety Administration. Every new food business is supposed to register before it starts selling food. You can still trade before you get a rating from them, but the rating is a vital tool for customers to gauge the safety of an establishment and can be a good selling point. While there have been no reported outbreaks of food poisoning connected to these new at-home businesses so far, in other words, it's not a problem. This is all just because they want more control. You can read right there. The FSA nonetheless wants the public to be aware of these risks. Quote, our advice to people when ordering food online, check the business has a food hygiene rating from us, from the government. Make sure you only choose government-approved places to get your food. Quote, if a consumer has any doubts about a food seller, he should report them to the local authorities. Where sellers do not follow the rules, in fact, they could be fined or imprisoned for up to 2 years for cooking and selling food. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are reticent to acknowledge that there is an agenda to control every aspect of our food supply, this article should encapsulate every last bit of what's going on and assuage those doubts. This puts it right there in front of your face. The law should be changed so that you can't even sell food until you've been inspected by the government and rated. That is happening even as they change the rules around supermarkets, saying that you're not even allowed to come in unless you get your COVID vaccination. Do you yet see that the food system is being weaponized, that it is being used as an implement to demand total compliance from each of you, and that, moreover, there's no workaround. They will criminalize growing and selling your own food. I meant it when I said this is becoming a black market. It's not exaggeration to say that we need to be building counter-economic systems to be able to feed our communities. I'm going to leave this there in this video to make it short and to the point and succinct, because really there's nothing else to say. They want total control of food. And if you can't see that, you're missing out. It's time to fight this, ladies and gentlemen, before it goes any farther, because they have plans to take it all the way. Thanks for watching, folks. You can find this report on iceagefarmer.com. And if you value this information, please help me keep this broadcast running. There's a few ways you can do that at iceagefarmer.com/support, and I very genuinely appreciate your help. Thanks for watching, folks. Spread the word, please.